If you look at, say, at history and the rise and fall of civilizations, while Rome was falling, Islam was rising. The sort of caliphate doing incredibly well, while Rome was doing terribly.
The lens, invented by Ibn al-Haytham, the same guy who invented the camera. He's also the guy who realized that light traveled at a finite speed in waves and could be broken down into its constituent colors, and that all objects in the universe exert gravity on each other. The knowledge that the Arabs were building off of was Western. The knowledge that they made was Western. How can that much be carved out of your historical knowledge when all of it is Western? That's the key to this.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, sahabat semuanya. Islam pada masa kepemimpinan Daulah Abbasiyah di Baghdad mencapai masa kejayaannya, atau orang biasa menyebutnya the Golden Age of Islam. Pada masa itu berdiri Baitul Hikmah sebagai perpustakaan dan pusat intelektual terbesar di dunia. Di tempat itulah lahir banyak sekali cendekiawan atau ilmuwan muslim yang berhasil menciptakan karya-karya besar yang berguna bagi kemajuan tidak hanya peradaban Islam, tapi juga umat manusia. Ilmuwan-ilmuwan muslim seperti Al-Khawarizmi yang menuliskan pemikirannya dalam sebuah buku yang menjadi dasar pengembangan aljabar dan algoritma matematika. Kemudian ada Jabir Ibnu Hayyan yang melahirkan sebuah buku berjudul Al-Kimia yang menjadi rujukan dalam pengembangan bidang kimia. Ada juga Al-Biruni, seorang ahli astronomi yang terkenal pada zamannya, dan masih banyak lagi. Sehingga tak ayal kemudian banyak orang dibuat kagum terhadap kepemimpinan dan ilmu pengetahuan pada zaman itu. Salah satunya datang dari pernyataan Elon Musk pada saat KTT pemerintah dunia di Dubai beberapa waktu lalu. Sebagai salah satu pendiri SpaceX dan Tesla, Elon memberikan pujiannya terhadap kekhalifahan Islam di Abbasiyah yang menurutnya mampu melestarikan dan membuat kemajuan sains pada zamannya.
If you look at, say, at history and the rise and fall of civilizations, that really all throughout history civilizations have risen and fallen. Say like while Rome was falling, Islam was rising, and so you had like the sort of caliphate doing incredibly well while Rome was doing terribly, and that actually ended up being a source of preservation of knowledge and many scientific advancements.
Pengakuan akan kehebatan penemuan-penemuan di masa kejayaan Islam juga diungkapkan oleh seorang astrofisikawan terkemuka asal Amerika, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Dalam pengakuannya, penggunaan alat navigasi untuk menentukan posisi di mana kita dan arah saat berlayar dengan kapal ternyata sejak dulu telah ditemukan oleh ilmuwan muslim, sebuah benda yang diberi nama astrolabe.
Around a half of all stars that have names in the night sky have Arabic names. Because in the golden age of Islam 1,000 years ago, navigation was a big deal, and they navigated using astrolabes, which is sort of the Islamic counterpart to the sextant and the octant that were used in the rest of Europe. Astrolabes are gorgeous. Oh, then they're works of art. They're brass. They're etched.
Can you buy one?
There's writing.
Do they sell them?
You can buy replicas, but you're not going to get an original one. Well,
find astrolabe.
Yeah, astrolabe.
I want to see what that looks like.
Oh, yeah. So there's a thing that hangs down. There are different discs that you can replace depending on where you are on Earth to know where you are more accurately. Wow. This is all navigation.
So it was almost like chips for a GPS device.
Yeah,
wow, look at that.
They're gorgeous. They're completely gorgeous.
Wow.
Dr. Roy Casagranda, seorang profesor ilmu politik pendiri dari Austin School di Texas, Amerika Serikat, berbicara dalam presentasinya di hadapan murid-muridnya, mengungkap fakta bahwa ada peran besar dari penemuan ilmuwan-ilmuwan muslim yang membangun peradaban barat yang bisa kita lihat saat ini.
The whole was the Arabs. The Arabs, it turns out, had built this massive empire overnight that embraced knowledge and was shockingly tolerant. Now what's remarkable about this is they began to advance human knowledge. The lens, invented by Ibn al-Haytham, the same guy who invented the camera. He's also the guy who realized that light traveled at a finite speed in waves and could be broken down into its constituent colors, and that all objects in the universe exert gravity on each other. He also invented the world's first ever scientific method. He stated Newton's first law of motion 600 years before Newton, dabbled in calculus 600 years before Leibniz and Newton, stated Kepler's first law of planetary motion 500 years before Kepler. There was Ibn Sina, the guy who invented modern medicine. He's also the guy who came up with the idea of singularities. He effectively postulated Big Bang. He's the guy who kicked off phenomenology that Husserl and Heidegger will later on take on and develop further. Right? There was this huge blossoming of scientific and philosophical knowledge in that time period. Ibn Khaldun, the father of political science, the father of history, the father of sociology. The Arabs invented literary studies where you would look at literary sources for the purposes of trying to figure out what the truth was, for the purpose of trying to understand. In other words, the English departments all owe their existence to these guys. How can that much be carved out of your historical knowledge when all of it is Western? That's the key to this. The knowledge that the Arabs were building off of was Western, the knowledge that they made was Western, right? Al-Khwarizmi invented algebra, algorithms, zero, Arabic numerals. You can't jettison these guys. They're too much of our foundational understanding of the universe, right? What would we be without algebra and algorithms to mine your internet activity? And here's what happened.